Hey everybody, it's Dr. Johnny Bowden. I felt like I just had to comment on this recent viral video of a Harvard professor saying that basically coconut oil was one of the worst things that you could possibly eat and was poison. And this video has apparently gone viral. It's being talked about everywhere, but not many people have actually seen it because I went to look at it, and it's actually a 50-minute lecture given in Germany in German. So I doubt that very many people who were talking about it have actually heard what she said. But apparently, from all reports, in there she said that coconut oil was just terrible and one of the worst things to eat and was poison. Well, that is her opinion. I'd like to give you mine. I think it's just as good as hers. Coconut oil is certainly not poison. I've been eating this stuff for about 20 years. And most of you know how old I am and what kind of shape I'm in and what kind of life I live. And I think if it were poison, I don't think that would all be true. But rather than make it a he said, she said, let's unpack a little bit what this comment was about. You have to understand that Harvard is a very conservative place. Yeah, they do amazing work, and if you had some rare disease, that'd probably be a great place to go. But in terms of nutrition and medicine, they are very much in the mainstream. And you know how we have cable TV channels that are on the right and on the left? Well, they're pretty much on the right when it comes to conservative theology on nutrition, and they are big believers in the cholesterol theory of heart disease. They've never let go of it. Now, it's an interesting thing. I did Dr. Oz's radio show quite a number of years ago. Before he had his TV show, I did do his TV show, but I did an hour on his radio show when he was on the Oprah channel on Sirius. And at the time, he was hosting the show with Mike Roizen, a great doctor who was his writing partner in all those U books. And Roizen was on, and Roizen said, Dr. Bowden's full of it. Coconut oil is a terrible oil. It's inflammatory, and it causes heart disease. And we had this debate there. And I was very, very gratified to see that about 7 years later, Dr. Oz, with Mike Roizen's blessing, I assume, had on his website coconut listed as a superfood. And the difference between Mike Roizen and Dr. Oz and these Harvard guys is that they were willing to look at the evidence. They were willing to change their minds. They were willing to see what was very clear on the horizon, that cholesterol was losing momentum as a major target for heart disease prevention. They were willing to see that coconut oil had a lot of things in it, like lauric acid, that were antiviral, and they began to change their opinion. That's not happening at Harvard. What you need to know about this Harvard position on coconut oil is that it is not based on new research. They didn't do any studies where they had clinical groups that were put on a diet, and these people got coconut oil, and these people didn't, and these people died, but these people... There was nothing like that. These were big epidemiological observational studies in which they found exactly what they've always found, that saturated fat raises cholesterol a little. Now, over the years, we have found that that does not matter very much. Because now we're looking at things like LDL particle size, small LDL particle B. We're looking at LP little a. We're looking at fibrinogen. We're looking at triglyceride to HDL ratios. These are real predictors of heart disease. Cholesterol is not that great. So we're kind of abandoning it. But this notion that if something raises cholesterol, it therefore causes heart disease just will not die. It's much deserved death. And what you need to know about all this coconut is poison stuff is it just comes from the same old studies that look at the correlation between saturated fat and total cholesterol and assume that anything that raises total cholesterol is therefore causing heart disease. That's the only thing that these coconut oil studies are based on. They're not clinical studies. They're simply observational studies, and they tell us nothing more than we've known all along. Saturated fat sometimes raises total cholesterol, to which most of us now say, who cares? This is Dr. Johnny Bowden, busting the low-fat myth, one myth at a time.